Hello students, welcome you all. Today we are going to do the second chapter of ninth class taken from the supplementary book Moments, that is Adventure of Toto, written by Ruskin Bond. Now Toto here is the name of a monkey which was very dear to the grandfather. Whenever we talk about a monkey, what is the first impression? What is the first thing that comes to your mind? Yes, it is mischief. And similarly, the behavior of Toto was no way apart. This story is not presented in linear form, that is, the story is not interconnected from beginning to end. There is a collection of incidents occur in the life of Toto from the time when it was being purchased by the grandfather in just 5 rupees and till the time when it was finally returned back to the Tonga driver in just 3 rupees. The whole story was narrated by writer himself. Now coming to the chapter, firstly I will read out the text and then I will explain it briefly. So let's get started. Grandfather bought Toto from a Tonga driver for the sum of 5 rupees. The Tonga driver used to keep the little red monkey tied to a feeding trough, and the monkey looked so out of place there that grandfather decided he would add the little fellow to his private zoo. One thing we came to know that the grandfather was very fond of keeping pets, as he had his private zoo, and he purchased Toto from the Tonga driver in 5 rupees, as we have discussed before. Toto was a pretty monkey. His bright eyes sparkled with mischief beneath deep set eyebrows, and his teeth, which were a pearly white, were very often displayed in a smile that frightened the life out of elderly Anglo Indian ladies. But his hand looked dried up as though they had been pickled in the sun for many years, yet his fingers were quick and wicked, and his tail, while adding to his good looks, grandfather believed a tail would add to anyone's good look, also served as a third hand. He could use it to hang from a branch, and it was capable of scooping up any delicacy that might be out of reach of his hand. Here, narrator give description of Toto's appearance, that the Toto was a pretty monkey. There was a sparkle in his eyes, and this sparkle is of mischief. The teeth of Toto were white as a pearl, which were enough to scare anyone. Yet his hands were dry but very quick. His tail worked as his third hand, which helped him to collect various stuff. Grandmother always first with grandfather brought home some new bird or pet, so it was decided that Toto's presence should be kept a secret from her until she was in a particularly good mood. Grandfather and I put him away in the little closet opening into my bedroom wall, where he was tied securely, or so we thought, to a peg fastened into the wall. Grandmother was not happy with grandfather when he brought some new pet to the house, so the Toto's present was kept secret from her, and decided to hide him in narrator's room and tie him to the wall. Few hours later, when grandfather and I came back to release Toto, we found that the wall, which had been covered with some ornamental paper chosen by grandfather, now stood out as naked brick and plaster. The peg into the wall has been wrenched from its socket, and my school blazer, which had been hanging there, was in shred. I wondered what grandmother would say, but grandfather did not worry. He seemed pleased with Toto's performance. "He is clever," said grandfather. "Given time, I am sure he could have tied the torn pieces of your blazer into a rope and make his escape from the window." When narrator and his grandfather came back, they found everything near him in tattered position. Wallpaper was torn off, the peg in the wall had been pulled off, and narrator school brazier, which were torn into the pieces. But the grandfather was looking happy with the performance of Toto. His presence in the house still a secret. Toto was now transferred to a big cage in the servants' quarter where a number of grandfathers' pet lived very sociably together, a tortoise, a pair of rabbit, a tame squirrel, and for a while my pet goat. But the monkey wouldn't allow any of his companion to sleep at night, so grandfather, who had to leave Dehradun next day to collect his pension in Saharanpur, decided to take him along. Now, Toto was transferred to a big cage in the servants' quarter where grandfather's other pet also lived, but the monkey did not allow any of the pet to sleep peacefully at the night. Grandfather has to leave to Dehradun for Saharanpur to collect his pension, so he decided to took Toto with him to Saharanpur as well. Unfortunately, I could not accompany grandfather on that trip, but he had told me about it afterward. A big black canvas kit was provided for Toto. This was some straw at the bottom, became his new abode. When the bag was closed, there was no escape. Toto could not get his hand through the opening, and the canvas was too strong for him to bite his way through. His efforts to get out only had the effort of making the bag roll about on the floor or occasionally jump into the air, an exhibition that attracted a curious crowd of onlookers on the Dehradun railway platform. Toto remained in the bag as far as Saharanpur, but while grandfather was producing his ticket at the railway turnstile, Toto suddenly poked his head out of the bag and gave the ticket collector a wide grin. Now here we came through the two words turnstile and grin. Now what is turnstile? Turnstile is a type of turnable door at the entrance of any building. And coming to the grin means opening of mouth with surprise. When we open our mouth with surprise, that is called grin. Now the monkey was put inside the big canvas kit. Toto remained in the bag as far as Saharanpur, but at the railway station turnstile he poked his head out, means he take his head out. He gave the ticket collector a surprise. He surprised the ticket collector. The poor man was taken aback, but with great presence of mind and much of grandfather's annoyance, he said, "Sir, you have a dog with you. You will have to pay for it accordingly." In vain did grandfather take Toto out of the bag. In vain did he try to prove that a monkey did not qualify as a dog or even as a quadruped. Toto was classified as dog by ticket collector, and 3 rupees were the sum handed over as his fare. Toto was classified as dog by ticket collector, and he charged 3 rupees for him. Then grandfather, just to do get his own bag, took from his pocket our pet tortoise and said, "What must I pay for this, since you charge for all animal?" The ticket collector looked closely at tortoise, coddled it with his forefinger, gave grandfather a pleased and triumphant look, and said, "No charge. It is not a dog." After that, grandfather mockingly took the tortoise out of his pocket and asked how much I have to pay for it. And ticket collector replied, "There is no fare for it because it is not a dog." When Toto was finally accepted by grandmother, he was given a comfortable home in the stable where he had for his companion the family donkey Nana. On Toto's first night in stable, grandfather paid him a visit to see if he was comfortable. To his surprise, he found Nana without apparent cause, pulling at her halter and trying to keep her head from as far as possible from a bundle of hay. Grandfather gave Nana a slap across her haunches and she jerked back, dragging Toto with her. He had fastened onto her long ears with his sharp little teeth. The writer's grandmother finally accepted Toto. Now he had given a home in stable along with the family donkey Nana. They were uncomfortable with each other, they were unable to cooperate with each other, so the Nana and Toto never became friends. A great treat for Toto during the cold winter evening was the large bowl of warm water given to him by grandmother for his bath. He was cunningly test the temperature with his hand and then gradually step into the bath, first one foot, then other, as he had seen me doing, until he was into the water up to his neck. Once comfortable, he would take the soap in his hand or feet and rub himself all around. When the water became cold, he would get out and run as quickly as he could to the kitchen fire in order to dry himself. If anyone laughed at him during this performance, Toto's feeling would be hurt and he would refuse to go on with his bath. One day, Toto nearly succeeded in boiling himself alive. Toto enjoyed the warm water bath during the cold winter evening. He imitated and copied the narrator in taking bath. When water became cold, he ran to the kitchen fire and dried him up, but if anyone laughed at him during all of his action, he refused to take bath. And one there was an incident when he was about to burn himself alive just because of his action. A large kitchen kettle had been left on the fire to boil for tea, and Toto, finding himself with nothing better to do, decided to remove the lid. Finding the water just warm enough for bath, he got in with his head sticking out from the open kettle. This was just fine for a while until the water began to boil. Toto then raised himself a little, but finding it cold outside, sat down again. He continued hopping up and down for some time until grandmother arrived and halted him half boiled out of the kettle. One day, what happened? He got inside a large kitchen kettle. It had been left on the fire to boil water for tea. He would have boiled himself alive if grandfather has not come and pulled him out of the kettle, then he would probably burn himself. If there is a part of the brain specially devoted to mischief, that part was largely developed in Toto. He was always tearing things to pieces. Whenever one of my aunt came near him, he made every effort to get hold of her dress and tear a hole into it. One day at lunchtime, a large dish of pulao stood in the center of the dining table. We entered the room to find Toto stuffing himself with rice. My grandmother screamed, and Toto threw a plate at her. One of my aunts rushed forward and received a glass of water in the face. When grandfather arrived, Toto picked up the dish of pulao and made his exit through a window. We found him in the branches of the jackfruit tree, the dish still in his arms. He remained there all afternoon, eating slowly through the rice, determined on finishing every grain, and then, in order to spite grandmother who had screamed at him, he threw the dish down from the tree and chattered with delight when it broke into 100 pieces. Toto was a very notorious monkey. He kept on disturbing people. Once there was an incident when he was eating the rice from the dining table, and when he was chased, he threw plates and glasses on grandfather and aunt. Then he took the plate with him and climbed the tree. After he finished all the things, all the stuff from the plate, he just threw the plate on the ground and broke it into 100 pieces. Obviously, Toto was not a sort of pet we could keep for long. Even grandfather realized that we were not well to do and could not afford that frequent loss of dishes, clothes, curtains, and wallpaper. So grandfather found the Tonga driver and sold Toto back to him for only 3 rupees. Now finally, grandfather decided to send Toto back to Tonga driver just in 3 rupees, as the family was not well to do. They are not capable to afford all the losses which Toto has done to them. So they finally decided to return him back. So this is it for today. Hope you will like the video. Thank you.